So the great Carroll Shelby is going to build a car to beat Ferrari with a Ford.
Correct.
In Ford versus Ferrari, Christian Bale and Matt Damon play auto racing legends who team up to do the impossible. Help the Ford Motor Company defeat Ferrari in the grueling 24 hours of the Le Mans race. But what's the true story of Ford versus Ferrari?
On June 20th and 21st of this year, less than 1 year after work first began on the GT, Ford entered 3 GTs as prototypes in the famous 24-hour Le Mans endurance spectacle, most famous of all European automobile races.
Racing historian Ken Gross says,
if you're a racing enthusiast, it was very exciting because Le Mans is generally considered kind of the most important event of its kind in the world where sports car racing is concerned. It's a 24-hour race in France that started in the 1920s. Over the years, in the post-war era, Ferrari won more than anyone.
Ferraris had won it 5 times running. Surely this time we'll see a change. Surely this year the American Fords and Cobras would break the Italian stranglehold.
Practice trials at Le Mans, France. Here's Italy's Ferrari, 13 times world champion.
They had the fastest cars, they had the best drivers, so they were certainly a target for an American company, and Ford took up the challenge.
And this is America's new challenger, the Ford GT.
Ford tapped a racing legend named Carroll Shelby to design a car that could beat Ferrari.
Carroll Shelby had great success with his Cobras. He also had success in the GT class at Le Mans. And Shelby was a leader. He was a person who attracted the best people, the best drivers, the best mechanics. And Ford Motor Company made the decision to put Shelby in charge of making the GT40 a winning car.
Shelby tapped one of the best drivers in the world, Ken Miles, to help lead the charge.
So Ken Miles was a tank commander in the British Army in World War II. He came to work for Carroll Shelby and proved to be one of the best drivers that Shelby had. He was a cool customer. He understood the cars mechanically, so he could drive the car and let the car talk to him about what it needed. They were, in many ways, the perfect pair. Shelby, he assembled a fabulous team of people like this. They put their relatively reliable 427 cubic inch NASCAR motor in this car. Initially, people said, it's too big. You can't run a successful race car with that much engine. It's going to be too heavy. It won't handle. Well, they made it work. High horsepower, big cubic inches is a very American way of doing things.
The result was the Ford GT40, a car that could go toe-to-toe with Ferrari. Ken Gross says driving these cars was no easy feat.
It's like being in a snare drum that goes 150 to 180 miles an hour. There's no insulation, you're strapped in your seat. It's alternatively thrilling and exhilarating and frightening. And the idea of driving a car like this at its full capacity for 24 hours, it's almost unimaginable. And yet these guys did it. And then they didn't just do it in the daytime, they did it at night, they did it in the rain. They did it against tough competition. As an achievement, it's remarkable.
No spoilers here, other than to say the true story was almost tailor-made for a movie.
I mean, there's everything you could want. There's rivalry, there's action, there's drama. Sadly, a number of people died trying to make this happen because that is part of racing.
And more than 50 years on, it's a story still worth telling.
These cars, they're still thrilling to look at. What they accomplished was really something.
This is InsideEdition.com.